Our rapidly changing transport industry depicts the massive infrastructure development being pursued by the government of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. As Secretary of the Department of Transportation, I have to orchestrate the planning, approval, and implementation of multi-billion peso transport projects in land, air, sea, and rails. The list of NEDA-approved infrastructure flagship projects consists of 185 priority projects with a cumulative cost of 9.53 trillion pesos. Out of these 185 projects, 69 are assigned to the Department of Transportation, valued at 6.02 trillion pesos. We have a lot of catching up to do in infrastructure development, which is a major thrust of the President. Our government firmly believes an efficient transport system would lead to economic growth, and intrinsic to that system is cross-border air and sea transport governed by multilateral diplomatic relations. Sustained growth of international trade through an expanding network of air and sea routes hinges on effective transport infrastructures at airports and seaports. And our projects extend to expressway and railways, enhancing mobility and connectivity across communities and peoples. Completing these projects on schedule builds pressure, especially when cross-checked against government's tight fiscal space. We are using this opportunity to make you appreciate the magnitude and complexities of our projects, so you get to understand why we need to fast-track their completion to support government's infrastructure trust. Allow me then to give you a glimpse of these projects. Last October 23, we signed the concession agreement for Laguindingan International Airport in Cagayan de Oro, Mindanao, awarding its operations and maintenance to a Bautista infra capital who commits to invest 12.75 billion pesos in upgrading and modernizing this northern Mindanao gateway. President Marcos witnessed the agreement signing at Malacanang and thanked Bautista infra capital, who is already managing the operations of Mactan Cebu International Airport. The President acknowledged that Laguindingan is the second airport to be privatized, following the turnover of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, or NAIA, to a private concessionaire last September 14. Since taking over the main gateway, the new NAIA Infrastructure Corporation, or MMIC, has undertaken several significant changes, including absorption of more than 70% of the airport employees, increase in parking fees, clearing of parking lots of overstaying vehicles, increase in takeoff and landing fees, reassignment of terminals, as well as closure of Terminal 4 for renovations. Expect more in the coming weeks and months. Next in line for privatization is Bohol Panglao International Airport. The unsolicited proposal to operate the airport is being subjected to the Swiss challenge, which will end next week. Should the proposal go unchallenged, we might award the concession agreement to the regional proponent before the year ends. After Bohol Panglao, unsolicited proposals have also been received for the Public-Private Partnership, or PPP, development of airports in Calibo, Puerto Princesa, Iloilo, and Davao. Last October 10, we signed a transaction advisory services